I visited Yosemite in the springtime of 2021. I saw a lot of litter and it was really just discouraging to me seeing it everywhere. I was hiking with poles and I was just poking litter with my pole. And it just dawned on me. I thought to myself, hey, I'm already about 99% of the way to picking this up. All I would need is a little arm on the end of my pole that could rotate around and pick up this litter. So what if my pole could double as a trash grabber? My background is in mechanical engineering. I went to school at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. For the last few years, I've been working in the aerospace industry primarily. I kind of like to learn a lot of different things. I was learning how to design, do some analysis and things. The CleanTrek stuff was kind of just a side project, I guess you could say. Coming from Illinois, there's just not a lot of access to national parks. One of the earliest trips to a national park I can remember was going to the Smoky Mountains, and that was just like so amazing to me. I've always been interested in the outdoors and just trying to explore it as much as I can. CleanTrek is a solution to make litter cleanup more convenient for you as a hiker. So oftentimes when we're hiking and we encounter litter, we don't find that we have a great way to pick it up. We often don't want to get something gross on our hands. We don't want to have to interrupt our hike and just stop everything. So to me, CleanTrek is a fun and accessible solution to be able to pick up litter in a convenient way, essentially. So you have a pre-designated place to put the litter. You have a tool already in hand to pick up the litter where you don't even have to bend over. The grabber and the collector, those are my flagship products. This is just sort of, to me, the easiest way to give these tools to hikers who already use trekking poles, because hikers are already holding these poles in their hands. And so it's just such an easy extra addition rather than trying to convince somebody to, carry some totally separate gadget. It's just a little add-on so that you can pick up litter as you go. The trigger just clamps up near the top of your pole. It clamps directly to the pole, and it's adjustable so that it can fit a variety of diameters. It's designed to fit most poles. Essentially what happens is there's a little clasp mechanism that holds a cord in place, and pushing on the trigger pulls on that cord. And so when it pulls on that cord, it is able to actuate whatever other tool you have attached to your pole. So the first one that I'll talk about is the grabber. So the grabber screws onto the end of your trekking pole, and the way that it does that is most standard trekking poles include basket threads. And so if you're a hiker who uses poles, you're probably familiar with the little threads on the end of your pole, which are there to connect snow baskets or mud baskets. And so what I've done is I've repurposed those basket threads to attach the grabber. Not all trekking pole manufacturers have agreed upon the same specifications of basket threads. And so to accommodate that, I have an interchangeable insert that allows you to match the appropriate threads of whatever pole that you're using. And that just slides right into the grabber. The next important detail about the grabber to make it fit most poles is to make it length adjustable. So I have this little clip that basically rotates in and out to fit into a series of notches on the sliding portion of the grabber. After you've attached the grabber to your pole, you can rotate it and decide whether or not it's contacting the end of your pole at a place that is going to allow you to pick up litter. And if it's not, you can just adjust the length to best fit your pole. And so to actually use this, of course, you're just going to push on the trigger and it's going to rotate the grabber just to pinch whatever litter you find on the trails. Now for the collector, remember that the collector uses a trigger too, so that's going to pull on a cord. And when it pulls on the cord, it's going to swing this little contraption open. The collector has these little, I guess you could call them studs. They're these fabric snap studs all around it. And that allows you to install a bag onto your pole. So we've got a fabric bag that's a little bit more stylish and is able to just snap directly onto the collector. And so when you open and close the collector, you can see that opens and closes the bag and that allows you, of course, to put in litter. You can also install any bag of your choice, and that is done with an additional strip of fabric snaps that sort of sandwiches the bag. You could think of a dog poop bag or a grocery bag or a bread bag, maybe you could install instead, just to give people some options, especially if you're picking up especially gross litter that maybe you just don't want to dirty up your nice fabric bag. What's so great about this design is that it actually wraps around your trekking pole. So rather than being offset from your pole, it's conformed. It doesn't feel very bulky. When I'm hiking, I notice that I don't even draw attention from people's eyes until I'm actually using it and it expands open and people are like, oh, hey, there's something there that looks kind of different, but it's designed to be pretty low profile otherwise. And I would say that it does accomplish that goal. And in terms of its carrying capacity, it's designed to fit. Most water bottles are able to fit in here. Granted, it could probably only hold one or two unless you crush them, but it's really more designed to fit a lot of the smaller things that you'll find. And if you're talking cigarette butts or like candy wrappers, those kinds of things, I mean, it fits tons of those. It's really hard to fill this thing entirely to the brim with just small things. So you could pick up hundreds of little pieces in here. I understand some hikers only hike with a single trekking pole, and so with that in mind, I came up with an additional piece that holds a pair of tongs. So it's this little bag that clamps really wherever you want along your pole. I like mine to be right up near my trigger, and that holds a pair of mini tongs. It just gives you easy access to those tongs at any time so that when you encounter litter on the trail, you can pick up the litter with the tongs and then just throw it right into the collector and put those tongs back in its pocket. There are, at a minimum, 50 billion pieces of litter in the US. And that's just the craziest number that makes it feel like you can't possibly do anything to improve the situation, right? The way I like to think about it is, let's say you're on your favorite hike. Sometimes it feels like, why would I pick up this little cigarette butt or this little wrapper when I see hundreds of other ones? I feel like I'm barely putting a dent in it. But what if you could commit yourself to just picking up only 1% of that litter? Every 100 pieces you see, you just pick one of them. But then the next 99 hikers behind you are all willing to pick up the same amount. And so if we all work together as a collective whole, we can all make an enormous impact. And so my products are a way to enable that process of picking up just a few small things.